In Mexico, a man confessed to investigators. He dissolved human bodies in acid. More than 300 people over several years. For $600 a week. Just a job. The bodies were loaded into large metal barrels filled with a caustic chemical solution, placed over a gas burner, and left until morning. By dawn, almost nothing remained of the person. The rest, in the form of teeth and bones, was burned with gasoline and buried. In just one secret courtyard, investigators later found more than 250 kilograms of bone fragments. This man was nicknamed the Chef, after the national dish, a meat stew. He claimed he didn't kill anyone himself. He only cleaned up after others. The court gave him only 10 years. Cartels are inventing new ways to destroy evidence faster than the police can find it. Thousands of families still don't know what happened to their loved ones, and most likely never will. Similar schemes were discovered in several cities. Barrels of acid were hidden in the courtyards of residential buildings, next to playgrounds, and in garages on ordinary streets. In one Mexican state alone, more than 15,000 people went missing. Most of them remain missing to this day. Their bodies may have long since ceased to exist. The cartel leaders demonstrated the technique on a piece of beef. Within 2 hours, the entire piece of meat had completely disappeared. The human body was gone by morning, without a trace, without evidence, without a name. Mexican cartels run real training camps for future fighters. People are brought there, and what they call training begins. In reality, it's a complete breakdown of personality. At first, it's physical exertion and constant pressure. Make a mistake while disassembling a weapon. Get hit. Raise your head too early. Get hit again. Step aside. Death. The final test isn't target practice. Young fighters are ordered to dismember the bodies of executed people right there on the spot. Anyone who refuses becomes next. Among the trainers were former military personnel and soldiers from the best combat units. People whom the state had trained for years to fight. Now they pass this knowledge on to the cartels. Survivors say there was no real way out of the camp. Trying to leave was punishable by death. This isn't a gulag. It's a factory producing people willing to kill on command. Some were given drugs to reduce their fear and break their will. After a few weeks, a person could no longer decide for themselves whether they wanted to leave. They were simply following orders. When the police found such camps, they left traces. Bullet casings, handcuffs, barrels, and bones. By then, the fighters themselves had long since dispersed across the country. Cartels build armies on military principles. Scouts, snipers, raiding parties, financiers. They're no longer just gangs. They're structures that fight more effectively than many state armies. Mexican cartels are recruiting children. Around 30,000 teenagers between the ages of 12 and 15 are already working for criminal groups, according to UN figures. At first, they're simply asked to keep tabs on who's coming and who's going. Then they're offered a sale. Then they're given a gun. Step by step, a teenager becomes a hired killer. Now cartels recruit through video games. At night, while parents are sleeping, a stranger in a chat room offers adventure, money, and respect. Some agree and never return to their families. A 15-year-old boy from a border town said, first, he sold goods, then they gave him a photo and a gun. He completed the task and considered it an ordinary job after school. Over the past 20 years, more than 20,000 children have died in Mexico. Many of them weren't victims. They pulled the trigger themselves. The system destroys those unfortunate in their birthplace. Families who didn't want to hand their children over to the cartel received threats. Some were murdered right in front of their children. This isn't just recruitment, it's the hijacking of an entire young generation. An estimated 250,000 more children are at risk of recruitment. They live in neighborhoods where cartels already control every street. Any one of them could be next at any moment. The cartels don't hide their recruitment efforts. They post invitation videos openly. In one video, a 20-year-old boy spoke directly to the camera. "I'm going to work as a mercenary. Voluntarily." Quote, Mexican cartels don't hide. They film executions, write captions on the bodies, and post everything publicly. This isn't a coincidence. It's a deliberate message. For everyone, the severed heads of enemies are posted like battle trophies, sometimes with messages to competitors, sometimes with the victims, names, and addresses. Simply to show, we're getting away with this. Platforms have a hard time removing this content. The cartels use emojis, slang, and code words to bypass all filters. If one account is deleted, 10 new ones appear in its place within an hour. At the same time, the same cartels advertise luxury, mansions, expensive cars, exotic animals as pets. This isn't bragging. It's targeted advertising for those who have nothing. Researchers found thousands of videos tagged with cartels on just one platform. It's not propaganda for violence. It's propaganda for a lifestyle. This is what works best with young people. The cartels have realized that fear is one tool, and envy is another. Videos with millions of views convey something money can't buy, an image of absolute power that one desires to possess. Journalists who tried to report openly on cartels received threats and even died. Mexico has long been ranked among the most dangerous countries in the world for journalists. Cartels control a third of Mexico's territory. They've long gone beyond the drug trade. They collect taxes from businesses, resolve disputes, and set their own rules. In many areas, the cartels are the real power. The police take their money, judges look the other way, and residents have long known that there's no one and nowhere to complain. One major cartel alone earns tens of billions of dollars a year. Part of this money goes to churches and free food for the poor. That's how the cartels buy the population's love. The United States has designated the largest cartels as terrorist organizations and is threatening to strike their bases. And the cartels are already operating in dozens of countries around the world. This affects everyone, not just Mexicans. The cartels have opened their own banks, real estate agencies, and restaurant chains. Money is laundered through ordinary businesses. Some of the goods you buy may be linked to them. When a cartel leader is arrested, the violence doesn't end. It escalates dramatically. A power struggle ensues, and ordinary citizens are the first to be hit. This has happened many times before. Drugs sold almost everywhere in the world likely pass through their hands. This isn't a Mexican problem. It's a global system. Subscribe to the channel and watch other episodes. It's important.